Hello everyone. We will continue our discussions on immunity. I think we will better try to understand the complete meaning of immune system. What is immune system in our body? If you ask that question, the answer would be very simple. It is a complex network of cells, tissues, organs, and their products, totally including the neural system. They have a coordination and they will produce certain materials in the form of proteins which can fight infections and diseases, and that is the immune system. So immune system is having a number of parts in that. For example, white blood cells, lymph system, like thymus gland is present in our body near the windpipe, spleen, tonsils, lymph nodes, bone marrow, lymph vessels. All these include the immune system, and they are all coordinated by means of hormones. Hormones connect every part, and then the neural system instructions takes place. So it's a complex system that works to produce certain proteins which act like antibodies. Now, the immune system has its own memory. That means if once a particular type of a infection attacks the human body, and the human body can, if it can fight it out successfully, then the memory will be stored. The memory to produce a type of a antitoxin to fight the toxin of that particular specific pathogen will be stored in the system. How it is stored, what is that happens, all can be studied in a science, a branch of science called immunology. If you want to go to higher studies on that, we can go for immunology. Now, if you just look at it, immune system, this is the immune system what we talked about it. This immune system work on the pathogen and the immune system. These two interact. Pathogens will produce toxins normally. Pathogen can attack specific sites. It may be, target may be, for example, pneumonia, say pathogen will attack the lungs. Within the lungs, it produces the toxin, and that toxin will destroy the functioning of the cells. So to overcome that, the immune system produces the antitoxin, and this antitoxin and toxin, they react together, and then when they react together, they neutralizes the toxin, then the pathogen dies. If it does not die, then if it cannot neutralize, then the disease will be onset, disease becomes stronger. That we have seen in the COVID-19, because COVID-19, the pathogen, what it produces the toxin, our body did not have any antibodies, our body did not have any memory of that one. Therefore, most of the people who are attacked by the COVID-19 could not fight against the toxin produced by that particular COVID-19, and the antitoxin produced was not useful. Therefore, they were able to live for some time, and the pneumonia became very strong, and the lungs became functionless, cells could not work, and therefore they could not fight the diseases. So in short, if you remember now, immune system is a complex network of many cells, organs, tissues, hormones, neural system, and they normally that reaction is called immune response, and it is a very complex one. We shall try to find out how the immune system works in our body in the next board. Let us continue our discussion. And let us examine this word immunity a little more deeper in a better way to understand. You know that immunity refers to response. It is a response in our body to fight a pathogen, or we can say it's the ability of the human body, what you call immune system, to fight against the pathogen and also the toxin produced by it. Now let us try to know three important phases of human being. A newborn child, a child that is just born on the very first day, what is its immunity level? And a child who has spent 8 years, what would be its immunity level? And a man who has gone to 80 years, what would be its his or her immunity system? A newborn child would be in a position to have active immunity. That means it is going to fight its own body. The cells in the body, the immune system in the body is in a position to produce antibodies in a very active manner whenever pathogen attacks the human system. But that kind of a immunity will be slow sometimes, and that innate or produced by its own self due to birth will be producing antibodies. So we say it is self-produced. So newborn baby will have self-produced immune system, but at that child is protected very well by the young mother. But after about 1 month or 2 months, they take the child to vaccination, and in the vaccination they give the vaccines, and then the child tries to get the what's called acquired immunity. So the child, by the time the newborn, by the time about 4 months or 5 months, they will inject into the body the antibodies produced in the laboratories, and the child acquires the immunity. So a newborn child, in the beginning it may be having innate immunity, but as the time passes on, it acquires the immunity by means of injecting. And as the age passes for up to 8 years child, the child is going to fight out naturally the diseases, and the diseases may come and may go away. It will recede. It's a natural, that's why doctors say you develop a very immunity system. So when once that happens, the child would now have the acquired immunity, it would have acquired the immunity, and also the child would receive some passive immunity. That is, pre-performed antibodies are injected in the form of vaccination and other methods. So that means at a given time, the child will have both acquired immunity and the passive immunity will be working together. And as the child grows to 80 years old person, for example, if I take the age of my age level, we say our immune system is weakened. It is very weak immune system. Though we have passive immunity injected into the body, we have acquired a number of immunity responses, all these things may become helpless. So we will have a weaker system. Now we have seen in the case of the COVID-19, whether it is a child, we have seen even the young born babies who die out of COVID, and the 8 years old child may also get the COVID attack, and 80 years person may get the COVID attack. That means the COVID-19 is a new virus, and it produces new toxin for which our system do not have any answer. That is, memory of the immune system is not there. Therefore, they have to develop. To do that, they will inject into our body the weakened or killed or serum of the pathogen from the laboratory, and that process is now called the vaccination. We shall look into these words like what is vaccination, what is immunization, etc. Hello, we will start now looking at 4 important concepts I have given there. One is what is vaccination? Some people might ask a question like, what is vaccine, or what is vaccination? What is immunization, and what is allergy? We should be in a position to answer these questions. Vaccine is a biological produce. It is produced in the laboratory by using synthetic molecules or using the pathogens. From the pathogen they extract certain toxins and they dilute it, and they try to develop a number of molecules which can fight against the antigen and produce antibodies, and that's called the vaccine that is produced in the laboratory. You have seen how the COVID-19 this pathogen attacked the human beings. It took nearly 1 year for them to produce a new vaccine, and that new vaccine is now used as vaccination. Vaccination refers to the injecting the vaccine into the body, and that will help to stimulate our immune system to produce more and more antibodies to a particular or a specific disease. Now, immunization refers to the act of helping the human beings to develop the immunity for a particular type of disease or a pathogen, and that is done by injecting either vaccine or live, diluted or killed organisms into the system directly, and that will help us to stimulate our body response system to produce more and more antibodies. And then allergy refers to the sensitivity of our own body. Sometimes when our body system cannot take, for example, dust, when once you get into the dust or some smoke, then you start sneezing, and that is a reaction of the body system to the material called allergen in the environment. Allergen may be pollen grains, it may be gaseous material, it may be smell, it may be taste, it may be anything that would not be tolerated by your own body system. That's called the allergen. That will be plenty in our atmosphere because our atmosphere is polluted, and that will produce cough, sneezing, tears in the ears, rashes and itches. Allergy can be treated by means of medication called antihistamines. Steroids are there, and they test the blood and they give the particular type of the medication to overcome the allergy. Allergy is not serious, but if allergy is neglected, it may become fatal. Many people die due to allergy, especially allergy that is responsible to produce the response in the lungs. Sometimes they develop and they cannot breathe properly and they die. Therefore, I request you to kindly read your book properly, try to understand these concepts. In the examination, normally they ask a question to say, what is vaccination, what is immunization, what is the meaning of allergy, how you can fight allergy, and what are the difference between vaccination and immunization. Such questions will appear. Please read the textbook and try to answer them. I hope the textbook has covered right from the simple word like immunity to the last level of what is allergy. I hope you understand this concept well and read well, answer the questions given in the textbook. Thank you.